What's going on, guys? So, the title of my speech is called Are Spirits Real? Take a moment and ask yourself these questions. Have you ever wondered or thought about what happens to our spirits after we pass away? Have you ever encountered a spirit before? Do you believe in spirits? And have you ever communicated with the spirit before? I've always been interested in knowing these things since I started watching YouTube videos of people communicating with spirits in various ways. In fact, millions of people are interested in ghosts, and in a 2013 Harris poll, it was found that 42% of Americans actually believe in ghosts. All these questions will be answered as we look at the process of crossing over to the spiritual world, the equipment that experts use to detect spirits, the ways people communicate with these spirits, the contrasting and persuading. Now that we have a clear understanding of what we'll be talking about, let me share with you guys the process of crossing to the spiritual world with you. The spiritual world is the realm that we humans enter after death. It's an intermediate realm situated between heaven and hell. It's also known as the sorting out zone from which spirits go to either heaven or hell. So, in the spiritual world, there are three states that people might pass through. The first state, people are the same as they were in life, still contain their memories, same beliefs, attitudes towards things, and manifest the same surroundings that they had on earth. When they enter the spiritual world, people often meet their friends, their spouse, or relatives that crossed over before them. It's a place where a person's inner nature becomes the whole of their being. Friends and relatives become the new arrivals guide to the spiritual world, and with the help of good spirits, the person's true inner nature will gradually be revealed. Depending on how long it takes for a person's outer nature to harmonize with their inner nature, the first state can last from a few hours to a year or even more. In the second state, the person becomes aware of the deeper parts of his or her inner nature. They start saying what they really think and act according to their inner values or what they feel without worrying about appearances or making others happy. At this point, the sorting out begins. In the third state, the person's inner and outer nature are revealed and will determine if they will go to either heaven or hell, and wherever they end up isn't a punishment, it's simply the place where they feel the most comfortable. Now we are in position to talk about the equipment that paranormal experts use to detect spirits. All paranormal investigators that go to these haunted houses and want to know answers about a certain spirit's tragic event on how they died or simply to prove that spirits exist will always bring certain equipment with them to detect those spirits. And the first equipment that they bring are EMF meters, which is basically standing for electromagnetic fields. Before EMF meters were used to detect spirits, they were used to diagnose problems with the electrical wiring and power lines. Now they use them to look for spikes in the EMF signal, with spikes suggesting change in electrical current and thus a spirit being. John Joe McFadden, who was a professor at the University of Surrey, proposes that the conscious mind consists of an electromagnetic field that doesn't disintegrate when we die. However, it remains unknown whether paranormal energy is above or below the standard setting, which makes things difficult. Here are his three basic theories. Ghosts consist of electromagnetic energy. They disrupt the energy in the location, and they use the energy to manifest, which allows the EMF meters to track energy that's beyond normal. They also use dowsing rods, and in order to use the rods to fight spirits, most dowsers recommend using two L-shaped rods made from brass or some lightweight metal. If you search and concentrate on what you're looking for, you can find spirits, anomalous energy, and even dimensional portals just by using these dowsing rods. At this point now, the rods point in the direction of any energy you detect, and once you discover the source of that energy, the rods will cross, signaling that the area in the question has now been found. The ways people communicate with these spirits. So, communicating with the dead is serious business and requires advanced expertise. Mediums are professional connectors who facilitate dialogue between the living and the dead. Jessica Lanyadu, who was a medium with 2 decades worth of experience, says that being a medium means that you can hear, see, and feel those who are no longer in their physical bodies. All divine practices require study, practice, and patience, but you have to be super careful with your approach when dealing with the dead. So, here are two tips and tricks for those seeking self guided experiences. The first is set up different conductors. Make sure you have space when preparing to make contact with the dead. Make sure you have candle flames, liquid, and scent because that's the best way for spirits to communicate. Make sure you have a spirit box or some sort of audio and video recording device because they are super effective conductors and can be used in real time to aid transmission. Secondly, don't speak with affectation. Make sure you communicate with spirits authentically, be respectful, use thoughtful words, and a calm tone throughout the dialogue. Be direct and communicate exactly what you would like to say and what you are experiencing. On to the contrasting. Why believers don't believe in ghosts. In that same poll taken in 2013, 37% of Americans don't believe in ghosts. Some believe there's no credible and no scientific evidence to suggest it. And they all say it's all created by the imagination of our mind. To the persuasion that it's real. Here's a famous quote from Nick Goff proving that the spiritual realm actually does exist. Energy can't be created or destroyed, it can only change forms. That's a law of physics, not a theory, but a law that's called the law of conservation energy. If you take an isolated system such as a person, the energy contained from that person can't be destroyed. It contains forms from chemical energy like the signals that travel down your nerve pathways into kinetic energy that's required for us to move our arms, but the energy is always there. The flesh and bones, the empty vessel is left behind, but the energy survives. Believers experience that are happy in what it does for them. So having the chance to help a loved one who had passed away, helping them achieve something that they've never had the chance to do when they were alive and allow them to have a better afterlife in heaven. So, in conclusion, we have seen the process of crossing over to the spiritual world, the common equipment that paranormal investigators use to detect spirits, the various ways that people communicate with spirits, the contrasting on how people don't believe in ghosts, and the persuasion on how it is real. When Michael and his parents moved into the house they live in now, the previous owners who lived in that house died and the spirits were still around that house. His parents would hear voices downstairs from time to time, and Michael would feel the presence of a spirit looking over him at night while on his laptop. Based on Michael's and his parents' experience, I truly do believe that spirits do exist and are real. And here is my works cited page with all the information that I got from, and this one too as well. So I really do appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to my speech, and I hope you guys have a great one. Thank you.